Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another 24-hour reading challenge. The way that I do this challenge is I just look to see how many days it takes me to complete the 24-hour reading challenge, given responsibilities, family, all of that kind of stuff. So today is Wednesday. It is 4 p.m. and we have already started this challenge. I just did not do the intro. So I have already done some reading. Earlier today, I took my youngest to a trampoline jump park and I was able to get some reading done. So I am at 23 hours and 6 minutes left of this challenge. So I've only been able to get about 54 minutes complete while I was at the jump park. This is currently fall break, so I do not have to work, which is amazing. So I thought I would do this challenge this week just to see, taking work out of the equation, how long it is taking me to get 24 hours of reading accomplished. I still have my kids, obviously, and so I still have appointments and I have things that are going to be going on for this fall break, but I don't have to work. I think the last time I did this, it took me about 6 days, which included the work and all the other responsibilities. So we're going to see if it takes less, which it should take less than the 6 days. The book that I plan on reading is Watch Your Back, which is book 2 of the Devil's Backbone trilogy. This is the Dear Reader series. This is book 2. I also have downloaded the third book, so I will be finishing this book within this challenge and then picking up the third book, and then hopefully within the 24 hours I'll also be able to start and finish a third book. So I would love to say during this 24 hours I'm able to read 3 books. That would be amazing, but we will have to see. I do have some things I have to take care of in the next immediate couple of hours, but then after that I have literally nothing planned, and so we'll be able to do a bunch of reading tonight. So I will do another check-in maybe later on this afternoon or tomorrow morning and find out how many hours I was able to knock out in day 1 of the 24-hour reading challenge. So I'm going to cut it here, do some of my tasks and things that I have to do because I have to, and then we'll do some reading later on tonight, and I will see you guys in a little bit. All right, we're back. It is day 2. It is Thursday at 3:58, so it's been exactly 24 hours, and in my reading challenge, I am at 18 hours and 51 minutes. So I was able to read about 6 hours yesterday, which I must say was what I was hoping for. The plan for this afternoon is I do have to take my youngest to gymnastics, so I have an hour of reading there. And then I don't have anything else planned for the rest of the night, so hopefully I'll be able to do a bunch of reading also tonight after dinner. So my hope is I would be able to get down to maybe 12 hours remaining, so I would love to be able to read for another 6 hours today. For my book, I am still reading Watch Your Back by Tate James. This is book 2 of the Devil's Backbone trilogy. I am 94% through with this book. I have 21 minutes left, and I know from reviews and seeing other people read this series, book 1 ends in a cliffhanger and book 2 ends in a cliffhanger as well. So I know I'm immediately going to want to pick up book 3, which I do already have downloaded on my Kindle. So for the next 21 minutes, I'm going to be reading the last part of Watch Your Back, and I honestly have no predictions as to what's going to happen. I did not predict what was going to happen at the end of book 1. That took me by surprise, and I have no idea what's going to happen in book 2. So I'm excited to see how this wraps up. So far, I've really enjoyed this series. I've really enjoyed book 1. I've really enjoyed book 2, and I have a feeling I'm really going to enjoy book 3. So I'm going to continue reading the last part of this book, get through the 21 minutes, see how this wraps up, and then I will immediately be picking up book 3 and reading that for the rest of the night. So that is where we're at. I'm going to start reading and see where this book takes me. Interesting. Curious to see how this is going to wrap up. I'm glad I read this once the 3rd book was out. I would not have wanted it to end on a cliffhanger like that. So yeah, now to download book 3.
Didn't know I could. Something about me feels strange. Something is just not the same. I haven't been thinking about you, even when I should. All the lies that you told, I've forgiven. All the fights and whose fault I forgot. I've done all in my power to heal them, all of my scars. I'm getting good at letting go. I'm not there yet, but I know ain't no hope in holding on when I'm happier alone. I'm getting good at letting go. Something about you was off. Something about you was off, but I was too blind to see it. Too in love to know. Somebody told me get lost. Somebody gave a heads up, but I just couldn't believe it. Little did I know.
Okay, check in. It is Monday at 12:57, and I just finished the 24-hour reading challenge. Now, I did not do this challenge in the 3 days like I expected or that I had hoped, but that was because I forgot football was within this 24-hour challenge, and I had to watch all of it. So there were a lot of times that I did not do any reading. So Thursday night, did not do any reading because it was Thursday night football. Sunday, yesterday, I did very minimal reading. Basically just read from like 9:30 or so at night until about midnight. So I really only had Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So I only really had 3 days of reading. So if you look at it, I read 24 hours in 3 days, but not actually 3 days. We're just gonna pretend I did it in 3 days. Yay! But I really didn't. So yeah, I'm gonna call this successful because I definitely did do much more reading than I had in the past. But let's talk about the books that I did read within this challenge. I read Watch Your Back, which is book 2 of the Devil's Backbone trilogy. That was book 2. And then I also read You're Next, which is part of that same trilogy. That is the last book of the trilogy. I finished both of those books within this 24-hour period. Those were read 100% on my Kindle. And I ended up giving both of those books 4.75. They are a why choose. I don't really consider them a dark romance. I just consider them a why choose romance. Follows Ashley, and then you have 4 MMCs. You have Nate, which is her newly established stepbrother. You have Carter, Heath, and Royce. Those are the 4 MMCs, and this follows a secret society in a college. So if you are interested in that, definitely check out this trilogy. It does have a overarching like mystery from the first book all the way to the third book that you're trying to figure out what's happening. And I really did enjoy it. I will say I like why choose, and I know they're done well if I like every single character within that why choose. If there's a why choose and I lean more toward one character, I don't really feel it's a very good why choose, because in essence a why choose is the female falls for multiple people and she can choose whoever she decides to go with. And as a reader, I want to enjoy all of the characters. I don't want to have a preference to only one or two of them. So I really liked this. I will say there were parts of the trilogy of books 2 and book 3 specifically that I found a little boring. Specifically in book 2, I still enjoyed it, but I will say there were some like lulls in the story that I just didn't care for. But overall, the trilogy was really good. I gave both book 2 and book 3 a 4.75, and I had a really good time at reading it within this 24-hour reading challenge. And then the book I read after You're Next was The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This I read, surprisingly, I only read it in one day. I only also read it while listening to the audiobook. I 100% would not have been able to get through this book if I was just physically reading it. This book is, okay, I gave this book 2 stars. I didn't want to DNF it, but I was really close to DNFing it. My thoughts are on this book. I finished it, and within minutes, I could not tell you the characters' names. That's never a good sign. I still have no idea what the characters' names are in this. This is Luisa and Santag. It's a Spanish name. That's the other thing that I will say about this book. It has a lot of Spanish references, and I don't speak Spanish. So that was another reason why I would 100% never have been able to get through this book if I did not listen to it, because there were a lot of Spanish. The characters were Spanish names. They spoke Spanish within the book. Didn't really care for that because I don't speak Spanish. Anybody else who does, who's multilingual, this might be a good book. For me, I did not grasp it. It was just too hard for me to pull my attention toward it. So I ended up giving it 2 stars. My other thought with this book was there is a lot of words, and I felt like nothing actually happened. It was that type of situation where you're just reading or listening to a book and you're like, I don't know what is happening. Like, nothing is happening. It's the FMC has like magical abilities. She gets found out. She's a maid. Her like owners find out. They decide to basically make her do this magical abilities in front of all their friends to try to get to be more popular. But the town doesn't look at people who have magical abilities very good. They usually are put to death. Not a good thing to have magic. She gets found out during one of these performances, and somehow she gets teamed up with the MMC, who is essentially kind of immortal. She finds out that he's immortal, and he is going to help her with her gifts, because instead of going the route that she thought she was going to go of being killed for being found out, she instead was going to be basically in a tournament with other magical people on like a challenge for the king. So she goes to do like, she's get tested through different challenges with the rest of these competitors to do magic and become the best magical person, I guess, to do something for the king. I don't know. I don't understand the purpose of what the king was going to use them for. I didn't understand. I still obviously don't understand. And so I just felt confused, honestly. That's what it was. I don't know, like I said, if you know Spanish, this might be an amazing book for you. It has a lot of like the culture, I think, but I don't know. I can't provide any thoughts on that. So it was 2 stars. I bought this last year to hopefully read in October. I'm glad I finally read it, but this will 100% be on hold. It's not going to stay in my bookshelf. I have no desire to try to ever pick this book back up again. It will be on hold in a future video. So I read The Familiar. And then the current book that I'm still reading right now is Gothicana. This one, I am also listening to it on audio. I downloaded this from Hoopla. I also have it downloaded on Kindle, and I have the physical version. So depending on how I'm feeling, I'm kind of floating between all the different pages or the different mediums. I'm always listening it to an audio. I just like audio. I will say listening to a romance book on audio is kind of cringy at times, because if I'm reading this physically or even on Kindle without the audio version, the spicy scenes aren't bad. Like, I can get through the spicy scenes without having any kind of like ick or anything like that. I usually really do like reading the spicy scenes. I like spicy romance. I like reading those spicy scenes. However, when you're listening to it on audio, it's just not the same, specifically if the narrator, you don't have the duet narration. I like the duet narration because in those instances, regardless of whose chapter the story is being read with, if the male speaks in that chapter, the male narrator speaks, and then the same thing happens with the female narrator. I prefer duet narration specifically for romances because it doesn't feel weird. But spicy books, when you don't have the duet narration, sometimes it gives me a little bit of the ick. I don't know. So I have gone through quite a few spicy scenes within Gothicana in the FMC's perspective with the FMC narrator. And while she does a good job, it's just the audiobook narration, sometimes it's not the best with spicy books. So it's nothing against the book. I like the book so far. I think I'm on, let me see. I am on chapter 21, which is on page, 263. So I am about 60 or so % through this book. And so far, I'm really liking it. This is following, what is her name? It's obviously not a 5-star because I can't remember her name. His name is Vad. I keep thinking of Vlad, like a Dracula type thing. I keep thinking of Vlad, but it's Vad, V-A-D. And her name is, I don't even remember what it is. Corvina. That's why. It's not a normal name. Both of these characters have very not normal names. So Vad and Corvina. And Corvina, the FMC, goes to a college. She gets accepted into a college that no one knows about. It's this weird random school that you cannot research. It doesn't really exist anywhere. The town that it's in is there. There's reference to the college if you look at like a map, but you can't actually find anything about this college. You can't apply for it. It kind of comes to you. So they choose the people that they want to come to this college and not the opposite. So she randomly gets a letter that says, you've been accepted into this college, this Vennamore College. If you would be interested, you have within 60 days to accept. If not, you'll be, revoked or whatever. So she ends up going to it because she's on her own. Her mom is not, they call her unavailable. You find out later where she's at. I don't really want to ruin a whole lot, just in case you do want to read it. So she goes because she has nothing really going for her. She's all by herself. So she goes, she's 21 years old and gets accepted into this college for like some associate's degree that I don't remember what she's going to go for. But while she's there, she finds out that this school has mysterious deaths and people go missing. Something happens. It's got this weird history behind it and just creepy things are happening. It's also in a very creepy town. The castle that it's in is very creepy. It just is a very gothic, creepy looking facility. She gets there. She finds out the history is very kind of confusing. And she ends up meeting he's not a professor. He's going for his doctorate, but he is a teacher. And obviously the teacher is Vad. So you have the teacher-student kind of forbidden relationship. He has some history behind him. You don't really find out what it is until later in the book. They're kind of drawn to each other, but he's kind of a hot and cold type character. At the very beginning of the author's note, I will tell you, because I can't really tell you a whole lot. I obviously haven't even finished the book yet, so I don't quite know what the ending is going to be. But it says that there is a mysteriously moral gray hero who will frustrate you to no end because his point of view is sparse, and my intent is for you to feel the same as the protagonist does toward him: confused, frustrated, suspicious, and lustful. And that kind of really does sum up that in my perspective so far. He does give like a hot cold type thing. It is also forbidden because he is a professor or a teacher and she is a student, and you're so far in the book, you're still kind of unveiling what's happening at the school, why it's happening. Haven't quite gotten into what's actually going on. So this is the book that I will be finishing hopefully today. I'm going to continue reading it the rest of the day. I'm hoping that by the end I'll have this finished and then I'll be able to start my next book. But that is what I have been reading during this 24-hour reading challenge. And with that, that is going to be it. I'm so happy I got this done. While if you count the calendar days, it definitely didn't go the 3 days like I expected, but it kind of did. So I'm happy with the outcome. I will definitely be doing this challenge again in the future. I really do enjoy kind of timing how long it takes me to read for a combined 24 hours. It's just something it's very interesting and fun for me to do. It's a challenge that I can do as an adult with a full-time job and kids and responsibilities. It's one of those challenges that is attainable to me. There are definitely some challenges that I just can't do because I don't work from home. I am not single, whatever. But I do really enjoy the 24-hour reading challenge, and I thank you for, if you've made it to this spot, making it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And with that, that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!